Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Nucanoe Frontier 12 and I'm gonna dig into this today. This is my loaner kayak until my Nucanoe Unlimited is complete. I've spent, I'd say, about 30 to 36 hours on this canoe and I feel I know it fairly well. So in this video, I'm gonna give you the good, the bad, what I would change, some tips on how to rig it. We're gonna totally dig into this and we're gonna do a deep dive into this particular kayak. So if you're looking into buying one, stick around. If you have any questions on how to rig it, also stick around. And if you wanna know some tips and tricks on how to maybe get a little better performance out of it, stick around. This is gonna be a good one. So let's start in the front. I went with the 70-pound thrust XI3. It's a hell of a motor. It'll push you. This one's a little shorter, so I believe they come 54 inches, so you got to cut the stock, the shaft. The shaft on this is 34, so it's actually 2 inches shorter than a 36, which a typical kayak runs. Because you can see this on this comes up. It's kind of like a Viking ship. The back does the same. So it tracks really well. You don't need a rudder with this if you're using a bow mount trolling motor. But I would recommend going about 37, 38 inches because I get quite a lot of cavitation with this motor. And if you're not careful, when you put it on GPS spot lock, it will buck you off. I actually had a close call at Lake Berryessa this past weekend where I was standing up because I stand up when I fish. That's one of the main reasons I switched to a Nucanoe is the deck space. So I was moving forward maybe 2-3 miles an hour and I hit that spot lock button, and I'm coming from a Torpedo, so you know I'm not used to this besides having a big boat, but I was standing up and I hit that spot lock button, and since my momentum was moving me forward, the motor flipped around, shot me backwards, and it threw me forward, and I thought I was going to go for a real early morning swim. So be careful on the 70-pound, be careful on the 55-pound, you will go in. Pretty impressive, actually. Those of you wondering why I switched from a Hobie to a Nucanoe, this is why right here. But I would say that the ideal length of the shaft would be 37 to 38 inches on this particular kayak, and you are gonna hit the high fives. It wouldn't surprise me on a light load if you even hit 6 miles an hour. And I have this running on 2 Dakota lithiums, 24 volts. What are these? These are the 60 amp hour, and these things are rock solid. I have them linked in parallel. I have them running from the back up to the front here, and just quick connect Anderson plugs. Every time you're on the water, be sure that when you get off the water, you take your prop nut off, you pull the prop off, you clean out any gunk that's in there, any fishing line that may have got tangled up, other people's fishing line that you may have snagged on with your prop, and any vegetation that could have worked its way in there. That's some good housekeeping rules right there. In the front of this kayak, you have a hatch. It's a dry hatch. Is it really that dry? It is and it isn't. So you can see right now I just keep my NRS strap in there, but it's a decent sized hatch, and it pulls out and you have access to the hole in there, which is really nice. And then also in the front here, I have this light. This is just a light that my buddy gave me. It's called the Firefly. It is Coast Guard approved. I don't know how, but it is Coast Guard approved. He got it at iCast. He cut out this piece of marine board, which everything is mounted to. So you can see I have a Lowrance Elite FS9 on here that's on a swivel mount, which is kind of cool. And then I just have a transducer that I hang off the side that is mounted on the Yak Attack lock and load. The big selling point on the Nucanoe is going to be the width and the deck space for me. You have thin gunnels and you have a lip. So I got my tape measure here. The lip is 5 inches, which goes to 5.5 inches, so it looks like it maxes out about 5 3/4 inches. That's enough space where I can actually put my feet on these little side gunnels and I can fish like that, and I can maneuver and kind of surf wakes from bigger boats while I'm fishing. I'm 170, 175. I feel more than confident on this kayak. You're gonna throw yourself out of this kayak before you flip this kayak. In gunnel wall to gunnel wall, you are looking at, let's see. Let me go to the widest part here. You are looking at about 40 inches. A huge selling point to me for the Nucanoe was the seat height and the 360-degree motion of the seat. I have really bad back pains from standing up and fishing. You guys know me, if you guys watch the channel, I'm a Hobie guy through and through. Got nothing bad to say about Hobie. It's a quality product, but you also pay top dollar for that product. This seat has saved my back. In the little time that I've been on this Nucanoe, I can tell a drastic difference in the back pain that I have, and it's this seat. This seat is on a platform that's custom made. This seat sits up 17 inches, which makes getting up and standing up to fish so much easier for me. And you know what? It swivels to the side, so if you're on the Delta or you're flipping mats, you can do it from the side. You can hang your feet in the water on those 100-degree days and you're not gonna flip. This thing is sturdy, 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 sturdy. If you want to rig a rod in the back, you can flip this seat all the way to the back. You can dig in your tackle. You can rig a rod facing backwards, just spot lock yourself and you're good to go. Now the back is kind of my issue here with this kayak is you don't have a ton of room in the back. I mean, you could configure it differently. As you can see right now, I have a bunch of reels. I was cleaning all my reels because it's that time of the year. Clean them out, oil them up, lube them up. But you don't have a lot of space. You got a lot of gear tracks everywhere on this kayak, which is really nice. So I put my camera mount in the back here, and I just put an external battery. The only bugaboo I have with this whole kayak is there's only 2 scupper holes on this whole kayak, and they're in the back. So you get a lot of water that comes up in the front. And I'm not really a big fan of wearing those NRS boots. It's not my style. If it wasn't the summer and it wasn't hot outside, I would not enjoy having my feet wet or just having that much water inside my kayak. It's just, that is not for me, and that is one reason I went with the Unlimited, is because it has all the scupper holes. But as I was saying earlier, you can see the slope of this back. It comes up really high. In the back, almost has like a built-in rudder. The way that it's designed, it comes down to a V, so it tracks really, really well with the bow mount motor. So how would I grade this kayak? I would say stability, I'll give it a 9. It is super, super solid. I don't think I could flip this kayak. I mean, like I said earlier, you're gonna fall out of this thing before you flip it. Fishability, I'll give it an 8. I can stand up comfortably and fish the way that I like to fish out of this kayak, especially with the swivel seat, the 360 seat, no brainer for me. Having it elevated, which that is aftermarket, 17 inches, it makes getting up and down super easy. The build on it, the quality, I'll give it a 6. I feel like it's lacking, but then again, the price point of it, you cannot beat the price point of this kayak. I'll put the price point up on the screen right now for you guys. And for the price point, it allows you guys, maybe you're an entry-level kayaker, you can get this kayak and still save a ton of money opposed to getting a Native or a Hobie. And it'll allow you to do things to it, like add that trolling motor, get that graph that you want, you know, just get all your accessories down. It's a really, really good price point for the entry-level kayaker, especially for stability and just getting comfortable on a kayak. And there's a lot of room. I mean, like I said, I fish on the side gunnels right here, those 5.5, 6-inch gunnels, the gunnel walls. You could lay rods there. I do that all the time. I could lay 3, 4, 5 rods there, no problem. And there's little guide rods up here where you can put the tips of them. I don't use those personally because I've broken enough eyes on rods to know that those are no good. But overall, it's a solid kayak, and I'd recommend this kayak. And like I said, if it had scuppers in it, this might be my tournament rig, because it is a big water beast. The way that the stern and the bow come up like that, it just cuts waves. It goes right through anything. And I don't get a lot of water in this kayak unless I'm like in 3-foot rollers, which I fish some nasty stuff. Like I go out in the nasty of the nasty. That's what I do. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, drop it below. and I'll answer everything I see. If you want to talk kayaks at all, add me on Instagram. It's Anthony Nordstrom Fishing. And until the next one, guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and be safe. Thanks. So that's where I'm at with this particular kayak. I love it. It's a love-hate thing. It would be a great kayak if it had more scupper holes. I don't know why they don't put more scupper holes in it. If there was maybe 4 scupper holes in the front, I might run this kayak. But until they do that, no. It's a great summertime kayak, and for the price point, I don't think you can beat it, but it's just not the kayak for me.